Hello and welcome to another episode with Sports with Monga. Newcastle just like scraping through games these days now, and that's even worse for Chelsea. After losing their fifth consecutive game in the Premier League, they need to bounce. They need to bounce. Chelsea right now is going through a low. Like now, like Graham Potter just needs to, yeah. Graham Potter just needs to. He needs a break. Okay, let's look at the last four games. Let's look at the last five games for Chelsea in a way. Um, all competition. The last against Newcastle tonight. Um, of course, St. James Park is not as simple to play. A beautiful goal by Willock. Let me just talk about that first. Beautiful goal by Willock. A lot of work done by Almirón there. Almirón cuts across. His touch is pretty heavy, but Willock hits it first time from the right foot, from his right on his right foot. Top corner. Beautiful goal. Nothing Mendy could do about it. It just fell in his stride, and it just the contact was beautiful. Newcastle had to scrape through because you could see Chelsea in the first half had some chances with Broya keeping some and some good saves even that Pope had to make. But Callum Wilson coming in the second half, almost more attacking after Chris Wood was substituted. The game was pretty much done. Chelsea didn't have any answers. They were pretty much. Newcastle had a good tempo. Almiron again, the guy. I think there was one time he was one-on-one with Koulibaly, and this is what he does. He just nails it. Chelsea, Graham Potter needs a break, I would say, and what a chance to get a break now, because Chelsea had a lot of injury issues, of course, but then they've struggled. They've struggled a lot. They've struggled in some sense with the game and how they could have played, but then their results have not helped them at all. Recapping of Chelsea's fixtures, last five fixtures in all competition. Today they lost 1-0. Carabao Cup loss in midweek to Manchester City. 2-0 1 week before. Chelsea was a London derby. Arsenal winning it 1-0 pretty easily in my mind. Dinamo Zagreb, they won against that 2-1, almost a scrape through as well. But then Brighton 4-1 against Chelsea. But that was, so I think these results will hurt. Then nobody's saying what's everybody has to kind of understand where the game basically is, which is Graham Potter has a depleted. Chelsea is playing a very depleted side right now, or Chelsea is playing very. They're just not been able to bounce back or have any momentum. They've struggled a lot. They've just yeah, it's just been hard for Graham Potter, right? Like look at who was playing. Like the bench looks pretty weak. Yeah, these people have the players have not been performing for him. Like Ziyech has not been performing. Kai Havertz has not been scoring. Pulisic has not scored a lot. They've had players Kukurea joining, but that's not kind of he's not been able to have any spark on that game himself. It's been hard for Graham Potter. On the other hand, Eddie Howe has just marched on slowly and steadily. He just kept kind of he's kept the foot on the gas pedal for Newcastle to kind of have momentum and keep playing the way they are. Of course, nobody in Newcastle would want a World Cup break right now, given the momentum and the way they are in the table. More on that after this, but then they seem to have found a stride. I think the main players for them have been Korean Trippier has been a great signing for them out from Atletico. He's led that team really strong. Bruno Guimaraes in midfield has been a revelation. He's been so good for them, and I think a lot of Premier League clubs were surprised and are now actually understanding the potential that he had, and he could have played with, and how he could have kind of been the guy who could have helped them. And then Miguel Almirón is just playing next level. Anything he touches is almost turning to goal, even if it's not him who's scoring it, but then somebody kind of ends up scoring that. So I think that's a very interesting game, a very interesting start to kind of even know that they are able to kind of get some victories like I said. But Eddie Howe should be proud. He should be really happy with the performance that have happened. But yeah, Chelsea needs more. Chelsea needs a little more kind of an up step here. The game was pretty cagey for a long time, but Newcastle was always looked very much in control. It never looked like there was any concern anytime for for Newcastle. That was pretty clear. Yeah, and it's a good game for Newcastle themselves. They've basically clearly put up their intent on what they want to do after winning all of their last 5 games. Like that's you can see the difference as well, right? Of course, they drew with Crystal Palace the last in the midweek, which they won, but then defeating Southampton 4-1, Aston Villa 4-0, winning against Spurs 2-1. They've been playing well. They've been playing well in that sense. So I think Eddie Howe should be proud. What it also means in the fact of where this leads or where this takes them on the table itself. That's even more interesting. Right now, Newcastle is third confirmed on the table. They pretty much solidified themselves there with 15 games played, 30 points. Chelsea, on the other hand, dropped and now they're 8th with 14 games played, 21 points. Tied with Brighton. Tied with Brighton there. Newcastle is 2 points ahead of Newcastle is 2 points behind Manchester City, but then Manchester City also has one game in their hand. But it's a nice place to be for a manager, for a club to kind of revitalize itself from where they were and fighting the relegation battle and actually having a chance to be more prevalent or show their presence in the Premier League, in the top half of the Premier League, top 5, even if they finish top 5, that's a really proud moment. But it seems like the confidence that they have, it almost would seem that they're not gonna die. The momentum doesn't die for them. They need to kind of build on this. Then they can finish top 4 with Spurs and Chelsea and Manchester United and other clubs. Kind of with Liverpool kind of not having the game that they would have wanted. This has definitely been one of those games where they're like, yeah, we do something else to change a little more momentum for us. But the World Cup break starts after this, and the first game for both of them will be pretty interesting to see, and looking forward to that one. Do let me know your thoughts. What does Graham Potter need? Graham Potter needs a solid win, a solid performance from his team to actually see that there is momentum and that there are positives to be taken out. I feel that that's one of the things that's the big thing that's been missing, is the fact that you've not seen a lot of positives in that team and how they performed. Let me know your thoughts in the comment section below. Do share this video. Do subscribe. Check us out on Instagram with Sports with Monga, and a couple of games more coming through. Right now Arsenal is playing Wolves. And the other very interesting, United is also playing, but the United plays tomorrow, followed by the last game before the World Cup. Looking forward to that. Give us a like, share, and subscribe. See you in the next one.